What's good? My name is Mike Osterman, and I recently posted this trick on Instagram. So that's a boulder holder, and after posting it, I was thinking a lot about how I learned the trick and how I would go about teaching it to people, because it's sort of a tough one to learn. And that got me thinking about all of the different types of finger flips that I learned over the years, from a standard finger flip to bebops to different truck finger flips, all the way to where I learned the boulder holder. And there's a lot out there. And I think like learning the in-between stuff, all those little tricks in between this tail stop finger flip and the boulder holder gets forgotten about. So in this video, I'm gonna break down as many finger flip tricks as I can. I'm gonna do all of the finger flips that I know how to do and just show you what possibilities are out there. So here you go. Here is every finger flip trick that I've ever landed today. Oh, okay, also, I'm gonna have a bunch of trick tips for these tricks in the description, so if you see a trick that you wanna learn, check out the doobly-doo. We'll have tips for them. You can maybe go learn them yourself. Usually I'd start warming up, but it's too hot. It has been like so hot in Southern California. The first finger flip that I ever learned was actually a hand flip, which I learned in recent years is different from a finger flip. It involves flipping kickflip direction. I think I learned it with both feet on the tail, like that. But done trick tips for that trick. Done so many trick tips. I've also done trick tips on finger flips, which are usually flipped heel flip direction or like away from you. And like the tail stop finger flip is sort of the gateway to finger flips for most skaters. You can flip with both hands, like so. Woo! So that was like a varial backhanded finger flip. You can add more flips. So if you're crushing it with tail stop finger flips, you can do doubles. Challenge yourself that way. Do double hand flips. This is what I learned first. That was the first double finger flip variation I went about learning. You can also just get weird with like the direction of your flip, using your hand, throw impossibles, whether it's from tail stop with a step off. See if I can actually do that one. Oh yeah. What else? This is the fun flip is when you go like that. So many of my friends learned that one from Keith Butterfield and his goofy trick tips. Let's see if I can do like a regular tail stop impossible with my hands. There we go. Gosh, that was awkward. So yeah, geez, my brain is melting. If you figured out how to jump off your tail and flip the board, and I have trick tips in the description for the finger flip, you can start getting interesting with like directions you flip it, with which hand you flip with, if it's just flipping or spinning, if it's turning end over end. If you can get off the ground and you can rotate the board using your hands, you're on the right track. Just keep challenging yourself. Time to get creative. What's that one that Lauren does? Oh boy, using his bag now. Check your phone, Mike, don't throw up. It's very hot. Okay, so Yuta Fuji likes to show me how good he is at this trick. So he does, finger flip to tail, and then sets up an impossible position, and then nose hook impossibles. Because you know, that's normal. That's something that the average human being learns how to do. Yeah, see? Oh, there's a bee. Well, the impossible wasn't good. Finger flip was like, okay, but we got a long video ahead of us. Let's change the batteries and move on.
2 weeks later.
All right, so funny story. I filmed most of this video 3 weeks ago. Has it been 3 weeks? It was way too hot to film the rest of the video when I was out here because we're in the middle of a heat wave. And then I got COVID, which was not fun, but not fun as the last time I got it, which was cool. And we're back, and now I have a new board. So we're gonna try to finish this, this video. Finger flips. Oh, let's get more in depth with those. So aside from flipping it to all four wheels down, right, like a regular finger flip, you can also flip back to tail, which I'm not the best at. It's something I never really worked on until recently. You can also flip from your opposite foot. That is something that I learned ages ago from Bob Lofton, and it stuck with me. So many variations, huh? We can also do them to rail, right? Which is gonna take me a few tries. Ha. There we go. Whoa! And we're warmed up now. Finger flip to Casper. Feels like Sarah action. Miss you, Sarah. And in these cases, I'm doing like under rotation. So I'm doing half a flip to Casper or 3/4 of a flip to rail. But you can also do like extra flips. Double flip, I guess it would be 2 3/4 to rail. You could do a flip and a half to Casper. The world is your oyster. Oh. It's also adding more rotations to that backhanded finger flip that we can do. Things like 360 finger flips, which are fun and offer a lot of different variations. Let's see, 360 finger flip to tail. Oh, that's gonna take a minute. I could do that better. Not my best work, but we'll take it. Now, I started filming rolling tricks 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, however long it was. All those stationary finger flips operate almost the same way when you're rolling. I talked about this in a recent Instagram clip, but you roll, grab the nose, pop the tail for a brief second, and then let it rip. And you're still jumping off your back foot. You're still kind of jumping off the tail, but you have to do it real quickly after you've, obviously skidded the tail for a second or just kind of popped it when you flip. It took me a really long time to figure this trick out. Oh yeah. Obviously, rolling finger flips are not my best trick. Straight rolling finger flips, like I said, they're just like regular tail stop finger flips, just you're rolling with them, which should mean that double finger flips are just as easy, right? Woo! If I just try a little bit, it's not impossible. So the most common way to do a varial finger flip like this is to flip the board behind you, kind of like a varial heel flip, scooping the board slightly with your back foot and then whipping the board behind you like that. It's really fun, you should try it. Woo! All right, another variation that involves spinning the board and flipping the board while rolling is the 360 finger flip, which is a backhanded finger flip. That's to say, I'm using my backhand to flip the board around end over end like that.
Rolling faster.
What else? What else? What else? You can also do backhand varial finger flips like that. Let's try those. Woo! Yeah. We can also do big spin finger flips. Oh. This is such a good board. That worked. Don't ask what board this is. I'm sure I'm forgetting some variations of the rolling finger flip plane, but all you need to know is that you can grab the board with both hands. You can even grab in the middle. I guess like monkey flips are technically rolling finger flips. It's really the same mechanics as a regular finger flip. You just have to set your weight back, stand really briefly on the tail, really just pop your tail, and then start flipping the board. And then working with or against the momentum that you're rolling with kind of opens you up to different variations and just different feelings for finger flips. It's hot. Don't get COVID, because joint pain is not fun. The way I went about learning finger flips is I learned all of those stationary ones. Just kidding, I learned like probably 3 of those stationary ones first. And then I tried to learn rolling hand flips, which are a pain in the butt. I'm not even gonna do one today. And then rolling finger flips. I think I even got rolling 360 finger flips at one point in my journey before I learned how to Ollie finger flip. Ollie finger flips are interesting, right? They're a challenging one to kind of figure out, challenging nut to crack, because you're not touching the board, you're popping it into your hand, trying to get your feet out of the way, and then get it flipped either that direction or that direction before you come crashing back to the ground. The way I learned them was to do Ollie nose grabs first. And then I learned how to really grip that nose grab tight and get my feet away from the board. Right? Really tried to separate the board from my feet. And once I could do that, started experimenting with airwalks and different types of grab variations, but finger flip at that point was well within reach. There we go. Now, there's so many variations that you can do of the Ollie finger flip. Kind of all those ideas I talked about with the rolling finger flips, from varials to doubles, they're all possible. They're all totally doable. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm in a lot of pain. My knees are kind of crushing me right now, post-COVID. So we're gonna take it easy. One that I really like is the bebop. The fakie pop between your legs. And once you have it between your legs, notice my fingers are on the grip, my thumbs underneath the board. I keep turning my body and I flip the board half a rotation in the opposite direction. So as I turn, I guess, backside, my board turns frontside, and I land in regular stance. It's not quite a half cab finger flip. Doesn't really work the same way. It's only a half finger flip, but it's pretty fun. It looks like this. Ha! And bebops are where things got kind of interesting for me, because then I realized that I could do popped finger flips in different ways. There was kind of an era when everyone seemed to learn bebops and ginger snaps in like 2008. And then I also, at that same-ish time, started seeing tricks like the boulder holder. And I was trying to figure out what the trick was. Took me a really long time, but I ended up seeing a Japanese freestyler do something similar, where they popped it between their legs, popped the board up, kind of like a bebop, but from regular stance. Grabbed the board between their legs like so, and then flipped it down. And that trick blew my mind. But yeah, the idea is that it's a backhanded airwalk, half finger flip. And it feels really cool, but you gotta get above the board and you gotta pop it a certain way. It's kind of tough. So this one's gonna really crush my knees, so we're gonna take our time with it, and this will probably be the last really heavy trick in this video. There it is. Felt good.
There it is.
Oh, right. Not as much as I wanted to film. It's been a strange past few weeks, but I'm glad I was finally able to get those finger flips on film for you. I definitely wanted to make a video, like I said before, to show sort of all of the ways I learned finger flips before I made it up to doing the boulder holder. Because to me, that was sort of like a huge moment in my progress, in my skate journey. Being able to pop the board in a really unique way, kind of a difficult way between my legs. It's such a different trick compared to the stationary double finger flip or even the bebop. Like, it just flips so differently, and you have such a long time where you don't have full contact with the board. But all of those in-between tricks, getting used to grabbing the board and flipping it with my front hand, getting used to jumping off the tail before I started flipping, even just getting confident enough to put my feet back on the board after it was flipping, all of those skills that I learned from the stationary single finger flip helped me get to the point where I could do the boulder holder. And I hope that if you're learning freestyle tricks along with us, you are taking the time to learn variations, to go out and really polish and refine and get your finger flip tricks consistent, and also experimenting with new variations, things like the rolling varial finger flip or the 360 finger flip. They all piece themselves together into being this really interesting bag of tricks that you can go out and show your friends and expand on. And I think that's kind of the best part of freestyle. I say this as Maria is off in the corner doing like 5 new variations of footwork tricks that I haven't seen her do before. Hi. Hope you at home are having a good time. I'm gonna take the rest of the day off and rest my knees, but we'll be back very soon for another video. Keep taking care of each other and keep dancing. We'll see you then.